I learned so much in that period when I was out of the country. I learned what is lessons which are needed by Americans desperately, some sense of the world around them and their relationship to it. That is, the country's relationship to it. No, I don't regret it at all. I feel that I was fortunate to have had this opportunity, and that it provided me, I believe, with a kind of understanding which I have developed from that experience, which I would never have developed otherwise.
And then you had the freedom, you had a forum for speaking the truth and informing others about the truth.
Exactly.
But also, I suppose by living in Africa, you were able to look at other events that were going on concurrently with the civil rights movement. The African Americans were fighting for their human rights, but at the same time in Africa, there were events going on that were quite egregious. For example, the assassination of Patrice Lumumba. Nkrumah was eventually overthrown. In America, you have the assassinations of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Do you see, Professor DuBois, any interconnection amongst those particular events?
I see a powerful interconnection between the general flow of events during the decade of the 60s, so far as Africa and African America is concerned, and I certainly see a specific connection between individual acts and events which characterized that general circumstance of struggle for liberation on the part of black people on the continent, on the part of black people in America, with each hopefully gaining strength from the other. And it's in that sense that it became clear to me how important it was that the media denied the American people with the information about what was going on the continent of Africa, precisely because it would have contributed to the struggle that was going on in America.
Yes.
If black Americans knew the impact that their struggle had on the continent of Africa, and if the African people were given the opportunity to share their experience in this same struggle for liberation, struggle for freedom, with the African people all over the world, the strength, the potential that would have been achieved at that time would have been very, very great. It was very important from the point of view of certain forces in America not to let the African people know what was really going on, the truth about what was going on among African Americans. And I sat there and read the stuff that they were sending to the continent. I analyzed it. I had that wonderful opportunity.
And of course, you were a journalist too. So
and the
yes.
wonderful opportunity to be able to as much as I could, the truth, as against what was being provided through the mainstream media, so that the interconnection was there. We have no idea, Americans have no idea the extent to which the powerful impression on the continent of Africa of what was going on in New York and in Chicago and in Atlanta and throughout the country. They have no idea the impact that the individual acts of repression in America are having on the continent. And unfortunately, the denial of the truth about what was going on the continent of Africa at the same time, through that same decade, the denial of that information to Americans in general and African Americans in particular contributed to the ability of the American reactionary forces to succeed or to achieve what they were able to achieve by pushing back and preventing the full realizations of freedoms.